Last time I reviewed a sales page from one of our clients, they said, can you have a look at it? Because every time we look at the sales page, it sounds so vanilla in general, and we don't know why. Because when people are in our paid container, they're raving about it, they get results, everything is amazing, but we don't know why when we come down and write a sales page to convey the value of our offer, everything falls flat. This comes down to one specific way in which you're marketing, which if you're not doing, you will always sound general and will always feel invisible. But when you do it, you make people think, wow, I need exactly this. Where do I buy it? The thing that I'm talking about is your method. And every time I say that, I get the objection, well, but I don't have a method. I kind of wing things. I mean, I've got a ton of experience, but I don't know if I have a method. Like, this is exactly what Alessia told me the first time I asked her, we need to sell this flexibility workshop. Can you tell me your method? And she said exactly that. Well, I don't have a method. And every time I bring up the question to all of our clients, most of the times they tell me, well, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know that when I work with people, I get insane results because I have some kind of a process, but they take it for granted. You probably take it for granted. But being able to articulate and verbalize the process that you use, your method, will help you increase conversions like crazy. I remember when we needed to write down the sales page for one of our flexibility workshops online. And because we wanted to charge people for about $500 a head, we needed the page to really convey the value of this workshop. And by reading it, it just sounded like you would just show up on Zoom and stretch. So I had to come down to Alessia and say, Ale, just give me something here. I need to make them understand why this is going to be so beneficial. Because when you work with people, I see that you kind of do always the same things. And I'm wondering if that's got some kind of sequence, if there is if it makes sense to you in any way. Tell it to me. So we sat down for about half an hour and she was just brainstorming the things that she thinks people need when stretching. And I was able to see the pattern. I was able to see the method. This is something that I want you to do as well. When you are able to articulate what you do to people, that's when it clicks. That's when people say, oh, I see why you're different. I see that your experience brought you to understand this, and I see why this is so important for me to have, because that was the missing link for me to achieve my results. In our case, was unlocking flexibility. For adults, they want to dance, but they cannot master advanced steps or skills, and everybody wants to be flexible anyway because it's a sign of health, right? But I needed a way to convey why our method was so good. So when Alessia explained to me her method, we came down to 3 main stages. And when she saw the 3 stages, she said, oh my God, this is the best way I could explain what I do. And now I can tell it to people, not just on my sales page, but also in my content as well, if I wanted to. I don't have to sort of sit you down for an hour explaining to you what I do. I can just go back into the 3 phases so you get it immediately. And this is what we want when people land on your sales page. They want them to get it and think, oh, yes, that's exactly what I need. So what we came out with for her flexibility method was something that we called the AI method. Kind of catchy. But also it means isometric. What does it mean? I forgot. Which means active isometric stretching, specifically for adults. But just giving it a name, giving it a label is not enough, because people will think, well, what does it even mean, right? So we broken it down into 3 phases so that people can understand it. Alessia explained to me that the first thing she does every single time to unlock people's flexibilities is to work on the things that actually prevent people's body to let go, which is the spine. The first thing she does is mobilizing the spine to make the body into safety mode so that it could release, it could be open to stretch. Being flexible is basically your muscle being able to elongate, right? But if your spine blocks them, that's why they're not elongating. You feel stiff and you think you're not flexible, but in reality is your spine is not allowing your muscle to expand and stretch. Ooh, first concept. So that is phase 1, mobility unlock. Our phase 2 was rebuilding your flexibility foundation. After your spine is being mobilized and your body being prepared to stretching, Alessia, what does it do? She stretches every single part of her legs because it's, to her, in her opinion, is the foundation for flexibility. Therefore, she would work all the parts of the legs to really help the body start opening up and release. And phase 3 is regaining control of your power. And according to Alessia, every movement starts from your core, from your central of the body, which is your hips. So what she does is she mobilizes the hips and opening up the hips so that your body can regain control of powerful movements that were precluded before. So do you see how this makes way more sense than just show up with me and we'll stretch together? This has got a specific aim to adults that wanna be able to feel flexible, also being able to express themselves through dance. And the way you do them is through a specific journey, a specific process. And when you explain it like that, people say, yes, I didn't know about this. I need to mobilize my back. I need to stretch my legs first, and then I need to open up my hips. They could even say it back to you when you explain it so simply. This landing page sold many workshops at $500 a head because we could explain the value of what we do. And one of the blockages that I see the best coaches do, and basically all of our clients have gone through this, it's like they take for granted what they do. You probably take for granted what you do. So I'm encouraging you to stop for a second and think, what do you do when you sit down with clients and start tackle things? Something that really helps me is always going back to the drawing board. Like, take a piece of paper and just imagine there's a new client coming to you. What is the first instinct? What would you do? Write down, I would do A, B, C, and D. And like, it's probably gonna be a list of things that you do all the time. Then of course, based on the situation, you would adapt and change, but mentally speaking, you will always find a way to find the root of a problem and a journey to fix it and improve it. What I want you to do is to look at it and see if you can identify 2 to 3 phases that you can clearly name and state what they are and what they do. Because if you do that, your landing page will be so much easier to write. It will be converting way more because people will finally click and get it and will feel activated to see, wow, this is exactly what I need. And also I understand why you're different. You're not just like everybody else. You have a system, it's thought out, you're not gonna wing it. I am safe hands. And your method is just one of the 3 main elements that a sales page needs to have in place to answer all the psychological questions for people to finally say, yes, I'm in, can I buy your product? Let me buy your product. And if you want to know all of them and know exactly how to write the best sales page of your life, without having to become a professional copywriter, just extract things, stuff like this, your method, your story, and why you're different, into a step-by-step journey, I created something that I call Sales Page Fix, which is a section-by-section walkthrough that will guide you on extracting the copy that you need to make your product and your services way more juicy, way more appealing, so that people watch it and say, yes, I want to buy it right now. If you want access to it, click the link in the description below. If you want to know exactly the 3 main elements that you need in your sales page to answer the psychological questions that your prospective clients always have in mind when watching and looking at your sales page, there's a video where I explain all 3 of them and is here for you to watch.